2 of the Hadrian's Wall edition of Turning Back the Clock. Okay guys, so picking up where we left off on the first episode, we're now walking alongside quite a large section of the original Hadrian's Wall. We've been walking for probably about 4 to 5 hours today. The weather conditions are horrendous. It's rainy, it's wet. I had to basically change every single thing I was wearing at our last stop. We've probably got another 2 hours to walk today to get to where our digs are for tonight. We're stopping there tonight, and that should put us right on the edge of the Northumberland National Park. So tomorrow we've actually got an 18-mile stint across Northumberland National Park along the original route of Hadrian's Wall. There's a lot more sights to see there, and there'll be a lot more content for me to put on the channel. At the minute, health-wise, we're going okay. Knees are aching a little bit. Feet were hurting this morning. I think the pain has died down a little bit now. I'm pretty sure we'll take that later. But other than that, we're going okay. So, onwards. Just at Burners Wall, Roman 4, which is just through those trees there. You can see quite a lot of it. It's quite exposed. Unfortunately, on our time scale, we haven't actually got time to go in today, which is a bit of a shame. But it's probably something that I will. I'll bring the wife up to come and have a look with me at some point, because I'm sure she will come and have a look. But we've got to, unfortunately, we've got to press on and get to where we're stopping tonight. Liam thinks it was a good idea to walk 15 mile on a massive fried breakfast this morning, so he's now regretting that. Little bit of acid, is it, mate?
No, it's just gas.
Gas. Gas. Oh yeah, I'm not walking behind him. Okay guys, so this episode is slightly different to yesterday. Yesterday was all about really getting to the areas of exposed Hadrian's Wall. And as you can see guys, we're now walking alongside what is the original Hadrian's Wall. And if you look right over on the horizon, we've actually got, that is Northumberland National Park. We're going to actually be going across there tomorrow, so we actually did things just before that today. Tomorrow we're going to do an 18-mile stint across the entire park, which will actually be later in this episode. And that is going to be tough, especially if the weather is like this. Okay guys, we've just come down into a valley, and that just goes to show you how much rainfall we've had in the last few hours. That river looks as though it's running very, very fast. Because we're down in the valley, we're actually sheltered from quite a lot of the wind, and it's kind of stopped raining, so things are looking up. So this, guys, is actually the remains of a bridge that went across the river that Bob just showed you. This was the kind of gatehouse, and then the bridge would have gone over this section. The river at one point would have been a lot wider, over this section, and then up the hill to meet the rest of the wall. But yeah, 2,000-year-old construction, and the foundations are still intact, which is pretty impressive. So we're nearing the end of today's walk. We're gonna head to our digs shortly. I think probably about half an hour away from it now. So we're gonna head to our digs, get something to eat, get settled in, and then we're up at basically dawn tomorrow morning to get a head start on this 18-mile trek across Northumberland National Park, because we haven't planned any stops throughout it. So we're going to walk the entire length of the national park in one day, but the sights should be amazing. We have heard that the weather should be a lot better tomorrow as well, which is always going to make it a lot better for the walk and for the challenge, but it also means that I might be able to capture a lot more of the sights along the way as well. Okay guys, so if you can see just in the distance there, you can see in the earthworks actually the path of the wall, and it actually follows across Northumberland National Park, and these are the peaks that we're going to be going across tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be very, very, very difficult. We've got 18 miles to go across that terrain, so a big challenge for tomorrow, but for now let's go to the pub. Okay, it is the start of day 3, guys. This is where we stopped last night, which is the Blenkinsopp Castle Inn. As you can see, the weather is fantastic. Got sunglasses on already. We're expecting a nice sunny day, and we're heading off now. We've got probably about a mile to a mile and a half to walk to get back to the trail, and then we've got an 18-mile stint across Northumberland National Park to get to Chollerford by the time the sun goes down later. So this is actually the hardest part of the entire walk, because it is quite literally through the national park. We're on rough terrain. The inclines and the declines and the general elevation of the entire section today is a lot different to what we've faced so far. So it is going to be a slower walk, but we have got fitness on our side. We should be able to do it. Lovely day. So
yesterday,
once we've headed over,
that's the national park.
my apologies guys, we got interrupted by a local who was trying to talk to us at the same time as me filming. To be honest, I can't remember how far I got and what I was saying, but basically I'll run you through what we're doing today. We've got probably another 20 minutes now walking from where our digs were last night, which were over in that little valley over there. So we've got probably about another 20 minutes walk till we get back to the Hadrian's Wall trail, and then we start our 18-mile crossing of Northumberland National Park. This is going to be the tough part, guys, because it is currently, at the minute, it is 9:26 in the morning, and that means that we have probably only got about 6 to maybe 7 at a push hours of daylight left to do these 18 miles. And then if we're not across the national park by the time the sun goes down, we're then walking in the dark. Now we have got torches and things like that, but obviously walking in the dark on these country paths, it makes it a hell of a lot harder, and obviously the potential for injuries and falls gets greater because obviously poor visibility. So we are basically racing against the clock today across the national park to try and get to where our digs are at Chollerford. So we've got our task set out for the day, and it's a big one. Okay guys, we are back on the trail. So what I've done today is I've got my my iPhone prepped up as well, because the last couple of days we've been doing that much walking, that much recording. I've been running out of battery life on the camera, so I've got my phone prepped as well, so if I have to, I can get the stick out for the phone and finish today's recording on my phone as well. So hopefully shouldn't lose the feed today. We're back on the trail. We've got 18 miles to go, and so far it's going okay. I have got a bit of pain in my ankle. Boots are rubbing slightly on the back of my Achilles, so I've put a Compede on that to hopefully prevent any more sort of damage to my heel, and hopefully that'll fix it throughout the day. It's not getting any more painful, but it is quite painful as we speak, to be honest. I think that's mainly due to the amount of water that got on my boots yesterday, and unknowingly created quite a lot of rub on the back of my ankle, so that when I took my boots off yesterday, I was just greeted with quite a lot of pain. But I'm aware of it now, so I can keep an eye on it and hopefully prevent it from getting any worse. So as I was saying before, guys, this is where the actual path kind of gets a bit tricky, because obviously we're not just walking along. As you can see, the terrain, it's all up and down. So we're only probably about 20 minutes in at the minute, and already the difference in exercise and what we're doing is massive compared to the last couple of days. So we've just got to press on, go nice and steady. We're going to take regular breaks, and hopefully that means that we can stay fit, stay in some good shape, and ultimately get across this section of the wall by the time the sun goes down. Hey guys, it feels like we are, well, it feels like we've been walking forever. I don't know if you saw in episode 1 or part 1, I haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet. We were at turret number 49C, and we're only actually, although it appears, well, it feels like we've been walking for a century now, we're only at turret 45A. So that just goes to show how long this wall is, how many different turrets there are on the wall, and just the magnitude of this construction across the northern part of England is just insane. So this is what I was talking about the gradients, guys. Obviously we're normally, to do the distance we're doing over the last couple of days, be nice and flat, but then we come across sections like this that are going to slow us down. They're going to take a lot more energy out of us, so we're going to need to make sure we're really packing out on the calories when we stop. Lots of water, lots of energy to make sure that we've got enough to keep going. Okay guys, so we've been walking for probably about an hour, I think, along here. And to be fair, this all through the planning of this trip, this section has always been the one with a question mark over it as to whether we're going to be able to do it all in one day. Now we're here and we've already booked our digs at the other end of the national park. We've actually got no choice but to do this in one day. But just while I was walking, obviously you can see complete 360 degrees all around me. This is, it's just massive. And one of the things that struck me is these hills that are now behind me. When we started on Monday morning, we could see them on the horizon, and we've actually walked as far as you can see here. On that horizon is just land, but we started on the coast, over on the west coast at Bowness-on-solway, and then looking into the distance, there is just land and land and land all the way past the horizon, and you can see some of the larger peaks that we've still got to climb today, and it just reinforces just how hard a task that we've set ourselves for this week, because we are quite literally walking from one side of the country to the other. Oh shit. Morning. So we just managed to find a little car park near a farm with some tables. So we've had a quick cup of coffee. Still going okay. Ankle is hurting quite a lot. I've put some more plasters on it, and hopefully I've been able to build enough padding up to prevent the boot from rubbing any more on the back of my heel. I do think it's going to be a problem towards the end of the week, so tomorrow and potentially Friday it will be a problem. It will slow me down. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad, but I'm not going to let it prevent me from completing the challenge. So I reckon we're about a quarter of the way along today's trip. I don't know if you can see right in the distance, just over there, the farthest point. That's actually where I did a 360 degree turn to show you the landscape. We've got all of these sections ahead of us. That looks like it's going to take some doing, to be fair. Obviously I'm going to probably keep the camera rolling for the majority of this next section, just so you can see how we go over it and how we do. Fitness wise, still doing great. Unfortunately my ankle is beginning to really hurt, but it's not something that's going to stop me from completing at least today, and then at least I can rest it this evening, get it strapped up properly, and then we should be able to continue on. And then tomorrow we're back to we're back to a fairly steady gradient again, and it should be a fairly straightforward walk. So I've just got to basically make sure I just keep good care, keep a good watch on my ankle, just to make sure that it doesn't turn into something that's going to prevent me from actually finishing the walk. So guys, it is 12:10 in the afternoon. We've still got loads more hiking to do today. It does often appear that it is just constant upwards, but hopefully we've done most of the bigger peaks now. I think this is one of the biggest, and then we should be well, not all downhill, but at least we've got a little bit less terrain. I might be surprised, I might get to that and there might be 3 peaks even higher than that. Don't really know, to be honest. One of the main things I will say is that because it's 12:10, it does mean we've probably only got about 6 hours of actual daylight left before it starts to darken, and then in a kind of rough terrain like this, with poor visibility, it then does become quite dangerous, and you increase the risk of rolling ankles and things like that, and slips. So we are still racing against the clock. It's getting quite hot now, to be fair. The sun's overhead, but we're drinking plenty of water, and we've had plenty of food as well. We had a fairly decent breakfast this morning at the Blenkinsopp Castle Inn, which was really nice. So that set us up for the day, but yeah, we're in high spirits and we're still going. So guys, I think we are probably about halfway along today's walk. If you can see in the background there, obviously we've got the wall heading down there. You can see it actually goes over the top of the peak by the lake, and then you can see it over the next hills and continuing on all the way off to the horizon, and then obviously somewhere right over there in the horizon is Newcastle, and then Wall's End, which hopefully will be at tomorrow. But for the time being, we are heading over in that direction, and all I can see down there is just the wall just snaking all the way across the countryside, off into the distance and disappearing further than I can see. And I think, to be honest with you, there is a town I can just barely see down there, and I think that is where we are stopping tonight. So it's about 1 o'clock now, so the count for daylight has gone down to about 5 hours. So we've just got to keep going along this trail, and as I say, we've got probably about 5 hours to make it to tonight's digs. Okay guys, so just down here is a place called Sycamore Gap, and it actually featured in Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, which was released in 1993, one of my favourite films as a kid. And I've actually just tried to recreate a shot that was one of the publicity shots for the film, so I'm just going to put that up on the screen now so you can see the shot that I've just taken. Really pleased with that. Obviously Liam helped me get the shot, so we're going to head down into Sycamore Gap, and yeah, and then we're going to carry on. So guys, we are still going. That is the lake that I pointed to earlier. I think I was actually stood on top of that peak up there when I pointed to this. And then obviously you can see in the distance, we follow this down and the wall goes along and we're going up over that peak there. To be honest, I can't really see what's past that. I imagine there is a load more hills and a load more land we've got to cover. What time are we on? We are on, it is 1:45 in the afternoon, so from a daylight perspective probably still got another 4 hours daylight, which is fairly good. We've got a long way to go, and as I said earlier in this video, if you have a look right over there in the horizon, it is just land, and over the next 2 days we've got to walk all the way across that to get to Wall's End. So this is kind of the point where you realise the enormity of the task ahead of us, but it's going to happen. Okay guys, so just as I thought we were over one of the final peaks, we came over to the top of it, and yet there is another massive peak ahead of us, and as you can see the wall snakes up and round and over in that direction, so we've got to climb over the top of that one as well. I've just had a look on Komoot, which is our navigation app, so we are looking probably about 8 miles away from tonight's digs, so that puts us at the 10-mile mark for today's walk already. And as I say, that might not sound like a lot, but the terrain is like this. It's up, it's down. If we were on a flat surface or a flat gradient, like we were on day one, potentially we'd have already completed this section, but it is a lot slower due to the obstacles and due to the gradients as well. And as you've probably seen earlier in the video, when we're descending between these sections as well, sometimes it can be quite slippy, quite slippy and quite dangerous, which obviously means we have to take extra care and means we are ultimately going slower. And this is one of the reasons why we are racing daylight today, because if we end up out here in the dark, yes, we do have torches, but it's definitely going to make it a hell of a lot more dangerous. Okay guys, so we've just checked and we've got a significant way to go still. However, we've just got to this trig point here, and I'm looking down the wall in the distance, and I can safely say that now we are at the highest point. There are no more big inclines. We're just walking downhill. Over in the distance, right over on the horizon, is where we started this morning, and there is now light at the end of the tunnel, even if by the time we get there there's no daylight. This is hard work. So guys, we are still walking, and we're kind of getting to the point where it's starting to get dark, and as usual, we're still on track. We were slightly delayed. We came in across an unfortunate incident. A fairly elderly lady had fallen, and she appears to have dislocated her hip. So we gave her some supplies out of our first aid kit, so some emergency blankets and things, and made sure she was okay until the emergency services have arrived. But it has put us back probably about an hour with our journey back to the hotel. So we have got a fair bit still to go, and we are losing light. So I've actually turned the light on the camera to try and make it so that you can see me a little better, but we will be getting our torches out relatively soon, because there is no other light source around here other than what we're carrying. So guys, I have just checked the map, and to be honest, I think we've probably got maybe a 20-minute to half an hour walk to the hotel. Light is really going now. So guys, I'm not really sure if you can see me while I'm talking to you like this, but we are still walking. We've got probably about 15 minutes left to go before we get to the George Inn, the George Hotel, and then we're going straight to the bar. Need beer after this day, definitely. Okay guys, that's about all we've got time for today. Don't forget to tune in for the third and final part of the Hadrian's Wall edition of Turning Back the Clock. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and leave a comment in the comments box below. Cheers, see you again.